It's Saturday morning. Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome back to This Week in Dioramas. At least, kind of. No, I am not starting the show back up. What we're doing today is kind of a nostalgia show.
We're sending you back to the future!
But I can't take all the credit for this idea. I don't recall who it was, but in April of 2023, when I ended the show, someone made a really good comment saying, you know what, you should do a top 5 or top 10 favorite dioramas of all time from the show. And I thought, you know what? That's a great idea. So immediately I started taking notes and going through all the content from the last 5 years to come to this point where I finally am ready to say, these are my top 10 favorite dioramas that were ever showcased on the show. But before we do that, I think it makes sense to go through a few highlights and remember the show a little bit, because it's really kind of incredible how much went into the show and just how much you guys put into the show. So without further ado, let's go through some interesting stats and some interesting highlights from the show. Bear with me. Before we do that, grab yourself a giant, tall cup of whatever it is you're drinking. I happen to have coffee in here. If you need some whiskey, some beer, some whatever, I don't care.
Milk was a bad choice.
You drink what you're going to drink. I'm going to drink what I'm going to drink. And we're going to have a good old time. So cheers to you. And let's get the show started. 5 years, 5 seasons of This Week in Dioramas. It was so much fun. If you are new here, maybe this is the first episode that you've ever seen of This Week in Dioramas, let alone TechChucker, this channel. Why did I do the show? What was the show all about? About 5 years ago, I started going to school. And that meant I had almost no free time. I used to build dioramas. I didn't build a lot of them, if I'm being completely honest, but I liked building dioramas. That's what got me into the community. And then all of a sudden, I had no time, but I wanted to stay in the community. I wanted to stay plugged in. I couldn't quit you guys. So I started the show. It wasn't my idea. I stole the idea from Brock. Life with Brock, he did a show called This Week in Customs where he highlighted awesome custom action figures, and I stole the idea from him. Though he did give the okay, and actually he encouraged me to do it. So I started that, what was it? It was like June, when was the first episode? The very first episode, June 14th, 2019. And that's what got this whole thing started. 5 seasons, and that's roughly around 100, not even roughly, it's exactly 174 episodes. So this episode is the 175th episode. That's kind of crazy. I'm just letting that sink in, just how many episodes that is, and how I just couldn't hack it to get to 200. How pathetic! How pathetic is that? I couldn't even get to 200. Well, anyway, this is the 175th episode. It's just about as good. But the stat that I think is the most interesting is the number of dioramas that were showcased throughout those 174 episodes. 2,916 dioramas That averages about 15 dioramas per episode. Now, there was some special episodes where we really didn't showcase dioramas per se, and we'll go through some of that. But 2,916. Again, we couldn't hit 3,000, could we? But I think that's an amazing statistic. That's amazing. And that made it so hard to go through and pick out just 10 dioramas. That was hard. It was really hard. And so just picking the 10, I couldn't just do a video and just say, here's 1 through 10 and we're good, we're done. No, I need to waste some time and I need to talk about other crap before we even get to it. That's how this works. That's how YouTube works. Cheers to me coming up with some great ideas on getting more watch time. You guys are still here. I haven't lost you yet. So let's go over a couple of my favorite moments, and maybe they're your favorite moments. Leave a comment. What was your favorite episode? What was your favorite moment? Was it getting your first diorama showcased? Whatever. Maybe this is the first time you've ever seen the show. You don't really care. You're like, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here either. But we got to get more content on the channel. Obviously, kind of a special moment. The very first episode that aired, June 14th, 2019. That started it all off. I'd recommend maybe go check it out. It's kind of cringy for me to watch, but it's kind of cringy for me to watch any of my videos. So whenever I'm editing, I put it on 2x speed just so that I don't have to listen to my voice. But some of you found that it wasn't nearly as annoying as I found it. So go check that one out. One of the other memories that I have that I really enjoyed, for the first couple of seasons, we did weekly fan votes where I would pick my top, 4 or 5 dioramas, and you guys would vote. And then the next week, I would share who the winner was. And then at the end of the season, we did this for 2 seasons. At the end of the season, I would compile all of the weekly winners into a big vote. That would be the grand championship vote. And you guys would get the opportunity to vote on all of those, from all of the winners from each week. And we had 2 winners based on what I was going through, remembering. First season's winner was Crashbox Customs. And it was it was so cool. I believe I can't even remember everything that went along with it, but Crashbox Customs won season 1. Season 2 was won by Shadow Gallery 718. I didn't find any information on season 3, so if I'm leaving out a 3rd season winner, somebody just send me a note, because I apologize for that, but it didn't look like we did more than just the 2. Some other special episodes that I just thought were fun. Season 2, episode 16, we did a This Week in Dioramas collection challenge where I asked you guys to show pictures of your collection with dioramas and whatnot. That was a fun episode. Go check that out. I'll probably have links to some of these special episodes in the description, so if you want, you don't have to go picking around looking for them. Season 4 was really fun, the Fire Hydrant Sculpting Challenge. That one was amazing. Some of you guys really stepped it up and did an amazing job hand sculpting. That was one of the rules. You had to hand sculpt your fire hydrant. You couldn't use 3D prints or anything like that, and you guys really stepped up on that one. And then the other thing that I thought was fun, one of my friends came up with this idea, and I did some diorama playlist episodes where basically I just went through a slideshow of all of the dioramas that were showcased either that part of the year or that entire year, and I put it to music. And usually it coincided with Christmas, I think, but I think I had a summer one as well. I'll link those. They're interesting. If you just are working on your diorama, I've heard from some folks that just said, you know what, I like putting the show on or putting the playlist on and just working on my dioramas with something going on in the background. So you can do that. I'll have that linked. That was kind of the intent of the playlist, is to be able to just have that playing, especially the Christmas ones. You know, we all like to have Christmas music, and so you could have that playing while friends and family are around and have it diorama themed. Some of the most special episodes, though, are the ones where I had guests. I had 2 published episodes and 1 lost episode. The 2 that were published were with Driporama and with Euler's Workshop. Basically what that was is it was a special episode where they were on the show. I could talk to them, ask them questions, but then they also did the showcase with me of the dioramas for those episodes, and that was a ton of fun. The Lost episode was with El Chambo, and that one I still regret because I had a technical issue where the audio was all messed up and it just didn't work right. We had the entire episode recorded, and when I got to editing it, it was all bunked up. And that one really disappointed me. But those interview episodes were some of the best episodes in my opinion. I loved it because I actually got to interact with someone from the community, someone who has some real respect in the community. And I had a whole list of you guys that I really wanted to be able to do more episodes with, but then time and the technology just got away from me and it just wasn't working. So go watch those episodes. They're really good in my opinion, mostly because of the guests. A little bit because like maybe 10% me and 90% the guest is what makes those really good. Maybe 20% me. Probably 20% me. And then just a couple other highlights that I wanted to bring up really is talking about the thumbnails. For me, the thumbnail, one, YouTube is huge on thumbnails. It's how you get noticed. And so coming up with the thumbnail for each week was such a challenge. As I was going through Instagram looking for those cool dioramas, I'd be flagging the ones that I thought, you know what, this one might be a good diorama for the thumbnail. And I kind of changed my style from season to season as to what my thumbnails were going to look like. But I was always looking for a nice looking picture, something that was crisp, had good lighting, it showcased the diorama, but also told a little bit of a story. Because after about season 2, I started naming the episodes with some sort of a title that maybe had, I don't know, some sort of flair to it, maybe some witty statement, a pop culture reference or whatever. So I don't know if anybody noticed that or cared, but I put a lot of effort into the thumbnails and the titles of the episodes. And some that really stood out to me really is going to be obviously season 1, episode 1, that very first diorama that was showcased as the thumbnail. And I always tried to make sure that I gave credit where credit was due. Unfortunately, the account doesn't appear to be active on Instagram anymore, but it was CREA_TIONB, Creation B. That was the very first episode thumbnail. And then we might as well talk about the very last one, which was Sinister Designs Co. I just wanted to highlight those. There's a lot of really amazing thumbnails throughout the entire life of the show. Hopefully you guys got a kick out of them and thought they were interesting. That last one was from season 5, episode 11. But the other thing that I wanted to highlight was really the very last diorama that was showcased. The last one. Episode 11, season 5, Mr. Spriken. I don't know why, but it just feels like I should talk about the very last diorama that was showcased, and that came from Mr. Spriken, who was a huge follower of the show. He did a lot of great dioramas. I tried to organize my episodes so that there'd be interesting dioramas throughout the entire episode, and I didn't always like to highlight the thumbnail one at the beginning, whatever. And you guys were awesome. Throughout the entire show, you guys did an amazing job putting out amazing content, but also supporting the show. And so I hope that you guys all felt that I was putting out as much as you guys were in terms of support to the community. And so with that, I think we're ready for me to share my top 10 dioramas from all of This Week in Dioramas. Out of the 2,900 plus dioramas, I brought it down to 10 of my favorite. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, these are in no particular order. This doesn't mean that this is my absolute favorite or my least favorite of the 10. It is just 10, and they had to be in an order. So there it is. Before I do get into it, maybe let us know in the comments which was your favorite diorama of all time. And if it's your own diorama, that's okay. My favorite diorama that I built throughout the time that I was doing the show has gotta be the Secret Stash Dio. My absolute favorite. I didn't make very many dios. I still don't make very many dios, but that one has to be my absolute favorite. So if you would vote for your own, great. Means that you love your own work. Shouldn't we all love our own work? But number one on the list, or my first one, I should say, of my top 10, is coming from Mini Dream 79. This is actually a post of, I believe, a couple of dioramas, but this style just was so amazing to me. I loved it. It was so unique. This floating diorama idea is just so unique and so cool. And the details on here are just absolutely amazing. I love the paint apps on here. I love the thatch roof, or the kind of grass roof. Having these little power lines, they look all rickety. I mean, this is just such a cool looking piece, and the fact that it's a floating piece, so unique. That's one of the things that I loved so much about doing this show, is having the opportunity to see so many different kinds of dioramas and to see how some of you are thinking. The creativity is just absolutely amazing. And this creator who does the Mini Dream 79 just has such an amazing thought process, I think, for the creative pieces that he's coming up with. Floating dioramas is something I would love to do myself. It's not in my forte. I do brick buildings. That's what I'm good at. I'm good at making a standard brick building. That's about where my skill set is at. The level of detail on this, I mean, with the signage, the trees look so natural and realistic. Look at the rubble on this. It just looks so incredible. And that is what I love about this, is the unique aspect of the style, but then also the sheer realism of these pieces, the skill set in the paint, the skill set in the sculpt work. Look at how realistic this brick looks. It's just absolutely stunning. So if you are not familiar with Mini Dream 79, I recommend that you give them a follow. Go check out the work. It's absolutely stunning. It's amazing work. I would like to say more, but it's just yammering on about how good it is. So we'll leave it there. But great job, and thank you for sharing your work with everybody. All right, the next one that's on my list, it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles diorama, because why wouldn't it be? I love TMNT. This is coming from Turtleboy83. Again, this guy does some amazing work. Lots of it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles related, so obviously I love it. But this piece, the second time around, April O'Neil's antique shop, it just looks so amazing. It's put together so well. One of the other pieces that I love about dioramas is the photography aspect of it. And this picture with the infinite black background just really pops. You've got great lighting. It's nice mood lighting. It's showing us the diorama, and that is it. That's all we need to see, and it looks so good. The brickwork on here just looked so clean, so amazing. I love the paint apps, but what really has my attention is this sign. It has so much going on with it. The coloring is so good. You get the weathering on here that it looks very, very old. It has that nice kind of yellowish look to it, but also you can see a little bit where there's some wrinkling and rippling in it, and that also shows some age, and it just looks so incredible. I love it. Every aspect of this, the debris, the trash and refuse that's sitting around on here. We've got some signs that have been taped up on the wall. That just looks awesome. The door, that nice blue, just pops so well. I'm really impressed. Was always impressed when I first saw it. I'm like, dang, this is a really awesome looking piece. Turtle Boy does a great job. If you're not following him on Instagram, please do. Make sure that you're following him. He gets a lot of great action figures, especially the NECA stuff, which I've not been collecting as much as I would like. And there's a few of the turtle sets that I've missed out on, somewhat because I keep spending my money on other things, but also because I haven't found it. And he seems to always be getting this stuff. He's pre-ordering it or whatever. And yeah, I'm a little bit jealous. I am a little bit jealous, but such is life. We can't go through life just being jealous all the time. But what I can be jealous of is this absolutely stunning looking diorama piece. The skill set is way up there. So awesome job. As always, keep up the great work and keep sharing some more awesome dioramas like this with the community. All right, this next one is coming from Styrosmith Dio Arts, and if I'm looking down, this was showcased Season 2, Episode 13, The Grind. This one is Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum. And this guy is a genius when it comes to sculpt work. I believe he does all of his sculpt work by hand. It's not 3D printed, none of that. It is hand sculpted, and this is just a stunning looking piece. I'm absolutely amazed by the workmanship on this, the detail work. Look at these little, I don't know, they're like a wrought iron kind of thing that's covering the windows. It's just so incredible looking. There's so much detail. I'm blown away by this guy's work. It's phenomenal. I'm stammering and stuttering because it's so hard to know just what to say about such amazing work. The doorway, the details on here, everything. Just look at, we've got little bolt holes, and it really looks like there's bolts in there. It's just a step and a half, maybe 2 or 3 steps above so many other creators out there. This guy just knows what he's doing with sculpt work, paint work, everything. It's just so incredible looking. If you're not familiar with his work, go check it out. You will not be disappointed with any of these on the top 10. Go check out their work. Make sure that you're following them. Let's go through a couple other posts because this is not the only work that he's done. I mean, we've showcased most all of his work on the show at some point. But look at this. We've got a few of his pieces put together, and it's just so freaking incredible. When you go to his account, you're going to see so many just absolutely stunning pieces. And when you realize that they are hand sculpted, it's just going to blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. So make sure that you are following Styrosmith Dio Arts. All right, we are on to number 4, but again, not in any order. This one is coming from Diorama. We showcased him many times, and he's a great person. He's a great personality. Like I already said before, he was the very first special guest that I had of only 2. He was a great guy to talk to, very chill, laid back, and comfortable, and he was just a nice guy to talk to. So go check out that video. I knew I was going to pick something from Drip, but I didn't know what I was going to pick. It was probably going to be his rooftop diorama, but then I remembered this one, the van. And I thought, you know what? This one is so unique, and it also kind of inspired me, along with Stop Moshindo, who did the Neutrinos car. Those two really inspired me to start on my vehicle customization. And so I had to showcase this one again. I had to put this one in my top 10. What I couldn't do is I couldn't figure out which episode or season it came from. I'm pretty sure it came from season 3, but I could not find the episode that I showcased this. So if you guys can find it, let me know. But I watched through so many episodes trying to find it. I even was looking at the date based on when this was posted and when comments were being posted. Still couldn't figure it out. So if you know, let me know. But one of the things that really has drawn my eye to Diorama's work, not only is the dioramas, but his ability to present his dioramas in such an engaging, interesting way. He is a graphic arts video editing master, in my opinion. Again, the lighting is always perfect with his pictures and his videos, but you can see just with the video footage here, It's so cool. It's just a step above in how he's presenting these pieces, and I absolutely love it so much. But looking at this diorama piece, it's got that cartoon look and feel. It's such a great representation of the actual show. And watching his build video where he shows the different customizations that he had to go through, the problems that he ran into when he was looking to take this van that he got and convert it into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles news van. It's just such a great it's a great watch. So go check it out. I'll have that linked. I'm going to have like 1 billion links in the description, and that's fine. That is totally fine. I want to encourage you guys to go check out other people's content. Drip has his own YouTube channel. It's called Drip Mode. So make sure that you go check out his YouTube channel, because he's a great guy, and he shows techniques that he uses for how to do some of the things that he does. You do not want to miss out on that. So check him out. Awesome job. This, again, it was really difficult to choose which one I wanted to pick of his works. And this one was so unique that I figured, you know what? This has to be in my top 10. All right, number 5 is coming from MT Dio Art. And this is an absolutely epic piece. It's a Motu Castle Grayskull piece. It's huge. It's amazing. It's got so much detail. I love the color vibrance. It just jumps out at you with that nice green, but it's not just one green color. There's so much variation in the green, and I love the fact that you've basically glued all these little stones together to get that look. It just looks absolutely amazing. I love it. I grew up watching a little bit of Masters of the Universe, and so I have a special place in my heart for the Motu realm, and it's so cool. Look how big this is, though. He's standing here. This must be the Mondo He-Man figure, and this is the 1/12 scale. That thing is huge. It's coming up above his waist at the very highest, because we've got this little dome here. It's coming up almost to his elbow. That's incredible. That's just how big it is. And when he's sitting, look, the thing's taller than him. That's amazing. I mean, very few people have space to be able to house something this big. The fact that it's so big, you can put it on, say, your lawn, and the lawn actually fits in with it. It just looks so incredible. The sculpt work throughout, it's just so cool. I love checking out to see what this guy is putting out next. He's put out some amazing towers that were taller than him, and it's just so cool to see that the workmanship. Oh, it's awesome. And then he basically created this as a playset. That's what it is. It's just so cool. Wow. Awesome. Go check him out if you haven't already. All right. I'm going to take a little break. Why? Because I've been recording this for a really long time, and it's lunchtime, and I am hungry. And you know what? I made some amazing nachos, and I made the salsa. It's not from scratch. So what I do is I buy, some regular salsa, and I never eat it straight. I have to make some changes. So I throw a whole crap load of cilantro in there, a little bit of hot sauce, some crushed red pepper, a splash of lime, and I already say a whole bunch of cilantro, just like a lot of cilantro. Mix that up. Sometimes you got to add a little salt, but I highly recommend, if you're not customizing your salsa, oh, you are missing out. So I'm taking a slight break to eat my lunch. And you should too. Though I have no idea what time you're watching this, and I have no idea what time it is. Go take a break. Come back, and we'll finish the episode. How's that sound? I think that sounds really good. That's so good. You should come have some. They're so good. This next one, which is, what are we calling this? This is number 6 on my list. This one's coming from Fanorama. And let's see, this one aired season 4, episode 44. This week in Dioramas, Destroy the Dios. And this is kind of an apocalypse scene. I have an affinity for these apocalypse scenes. Some folks will do it with Godzilla as well. But these little cityscapes I dig them. I love the cityscapes. I've wanted to build a cityscape for a long time. You know me, I have lots of good intentions and never follow through on anything, it seems. But you guys do. You guys follow through, and this piece just has so much great detail. I love the paint apps, the fact that everything has kind of the same color, kind of this greenish color. Some of it might be lighting, some of it might just be the paint work on here, but it looks so incredible. I'm digging on it big time. The signage all throughout is giving us this almost futuristic feel, but then it's also kind of an apocalypse feel. And so it says here, this was a work in progress. I'm pretty sure that the completed picture is somewhere, but this is the one that I found. This is the one that I actually showcased. It's a 1/87th scale HO underwater city, so this is supposed to be underwater, which is kind of cool. I just love it. It looks so cool. And you know what? When you can get Plastic Action commenting on your posts, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a pretty darn good thing. You're doing the right stuff when you're getting someone as prolific as him, who does some amazing action figure photography and does amazing stop motion. When he's commenting on your work, you're doing the right thing. Again, the workmanship on this is just absolutely amazing. You can see the finger in there to give you a little bit of the scale of what this thing looks like and how big it is. It's not very big. And so the amount of detail that's on here for this scale is just absolutely incredible. I love it so much. Again, these are the sorts of dioramas that get me up out of bed, get me excited. They get me motivated to go work on my own projects, which I've been trying to do a little bit more of. That's just so fun. It's so fun. So thank you, as always, for sharing your work. All right, the next one that's on my list, it's number 7 on my list. Again, the numbers don't matter, but it helps me keep track of where we're at with this episode. It's coming from Reco CH. This was showcased season 1. This is a season 1 showcase, episode 2. And this diorama is amazing. So Reco does a lot of pieces that are very similar in style to this. It's kind of a New York brownstone almost apartment style, but the detail that's on these pieces is absolutely amazing. Just look at all the detail that's on these little, I don't even know what these are called, but it just, these little, like, I don't know, hook-like things or whatever they are, just look amazing. And then down here, it's a little bit different design, but it still flows with what that design is. I'm thinking some of this is 3D printed. So let's see, plastic, which I 3D designed and printed. Yeah, lots of 3D prints. I have no problem with 3D prints. I do use a lot of 3D stuff in my dioramas. It gives that perfection feel to pieces that oftentimes are very difficult to build by hand. Some of you guys really nail it with the hand sculpted pieces. Even just making windows is very difficult to do by hand. So if you need to employ 3D prints, I say go for it. You can get pieces that look amazing like this. The fact that we've got some neon lights right here that are actually lit up look amazing. Again, another one of those putting the fingers in to show the scale of this. I love that. I love seeing those pictures with your fingers in there or some sort of like a quarter to help us see just how big or small this is. But this piece is just chock full of detail. It's so amazing. Follow his channel because you'll see tons of these dioramas that he's built over the years, and every single one has just as much detail, if not more. And that's why he made it on the show very quickly and early, and made it on the thumbnail, I believe, as well, because it just was a really nice looking picture and I had to showcase it. But yeah, these pieces have so many different options to be able to showcase. So yeah, awesome job. One of my favorite dios, one of my favorite creators. This next diorama came from Euler's Workshop, Season 2, Episode 30, giant size talent. This piece is absolutely amazing. If you aren't familiar with Jordan at Euler's Workshop, again, like all of these creators, go check out his Instagram and check out Euler's Workshop on YouTube. He does some amazing diorama tutorials where you learn so many things in just one video. It's incredible. I love this guy. He's amazing. This brownstone just looks absolutely amazing. Look at this picture. It really looks like we're just sitting up looking at it. It looks actually real, and it's so amazing. So let's go through one of these other posts. So here's the brownstone, wide shot. It looks amazing. And I don't remember who got this diorama, but a pretty proficient ACBAer got this diorama, and it's just absolutely amazing. I love the little wrought iron fence thing that you've got going here. I've got a brownstone too, and I have to say, this one looks so good compared to mine. It just looks amazing. The paint apps on here look so freaking good. Man, I love it. It just looks so incredible. Let's go through a couple other pictures here. Look at that. That just looks awesome. The detail up here. That is absolutely amazing. This guy really understands architecture. It's incredible how good he is with the architectural pieces. And I lost my backlight. That sucks. All right, the next diorama is coming from Sage JDG. This guy does some amazing work. I could have picked any number of pieces from him, but I wanted to showcase this one because it just really stood out to me at the time when it came out. He, I believe, has done 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 school-based kind of dioramas like this with lockers. But these lockers are all hand sculpted and they look so incredibly realistic. Now, one of the things that I really like about this guy's work is his paint apps. He does an amazing job with his paint apps. They always look so natural and realistic. And I'm always amazed with the way he packages his pieces. He does a lot of commissions. He's selling a lot of pieces. He's a great artist. He, I believe, is formally trained as well. And Josh he's just one of the best guys out there. He's supported this channel, supported the show ever since it started. And I just love his work. Every time I see him put out a piece, it's always one that was ready to be showcased on the show. It's always top-notch work. And just look at this. Look at how cool this looks. It's just a really well put together piece, ready to be sold and put on someone's shelf or used for action figure photography. And he does so many really cool pieces, and he's not stuck in just one genre. He's doing lots of different types of diorama work, and it always comes out so crisp, so clean. And so I really wanted to make sure that I showcased a piece from Josh because I had a hard time picking. There's so much, and everything looks so good. So if you aren't following him, what the heck are you doing? Make sure that you go follow him. And then the last diorama that I have in my top 10 is coming from Mr. C 5050. This guy has taken on such epic projects that it's incredible to see. It's so fun to see when you guys take a project that, we've all had those grandiose ideas, but when you guys actually execute them and we can see the results of it, that's just what's so amazing. This Colosseum piece is just an absolutely immaculate piece. It's so incredible. It's so big. It's like 5 feet wide. You can see it's covering the full table. And the paint apps on this piece is just amazing. And that is so hard. It's hard to have everything looking so good on a small piece. But then on a piece this big that has so many pieces that you have to paint and sculpt and get just right. And he just nailed it with this. And then he followed it up with another huge project. I just, hats off to you big time, because the work that you've done on this piece alone is just absolutely incredible. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so fun to see these projects, things that I would never have thought of. I would never have thought of making a Colosseum diorama like this, but being able to go through and see the projects that you guys come up with, it gives so many more ideas to the rest of us to be able to think, you know what, I could do something like this. I've got action figures that would fit perfectly with this style of a diorama. So I think I might take that try and see if I can do something epic like this, or maybe just do a small piece of it. Maybe I don't need to do something that's 5 feet long and however many feet tall and all of that, but it generates so many ideas, and it's so cool to see the skills. And so many of you share some of the tips and tricks on how you do some of these different techniques. And that is always just priceless for the rest of us who are trying to learn this craft and figure out just what we can do. So with that, that is my top 10 of all time dioramas that were showcased on the show. Leave a comment. What did you think? What's your top 10, your top 5, your top 1, whatever it might be? Even if they weren't showcased, let us know which one was your favorite of all time. What diorama has inspired you? What creator has inspired you to either get started with dioramas? Maybe you were in a rut and someone helped you get out of that rut. Whatever it is, leave a comment. Stay in the community. I hope even though I'm not doing the videos that we can keep the community going. Make sure that you've joined the Facebook HQ or the Diorama HQ Facebook group. It's a great place to be able to showcase your work, share any knowledge that you might have, ask questions. Continue using the hashtag thisweekindioramas. Even though the show is done, the hashtag is still there. It's still a good way for those of us in the community to be able to see all of the projects that are being completed throughout the years. And maybe we can keep it going even though I'm not doing the show. I am still doing YouTube. You can see I'm here. I'm here right now. I'm in front of you. But I'm just not doing the show. I don't have any plans of bringing the show back as much as I would love to. Some things just have a shelf life, and I think the show had its shelf life as well. But I wanted to make sure that I got this video out because I thought it was a great idea. And I think you guys, hopefully if you're watching by now, you're still at the end and you're watching, you enjoyed it too. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, all that jazz. I'm still going to be out here, but I'm going to be building more dioramas. I've got a project that I'm working on right now. So if you're following me on Instagram or still following me on YouTube, I'm posting mostly shorts, but I'm going to try and do some longer format stuff as well. Some maybe tutorials, builds, whatever that might be. So I am not going away by any means, though I haven't been posting near as much as I would like, but I'm hoping to change that too. So there you have it. Again, thank you to everybody for all of the support. If I could have, I would have showcased every single diorama, but I already did that once. I showcased 2,916 dioramas, and these were just the 10 that I thought were standouts among a whole bunch of standouts. So there you have it. Signing off, cut with a new blade, and have a good one, everybody. I'll see you later.